This post-match report is proudly brought to you by Complete Sports Management, more footy, less admin, and Stat Guru, when numbers matter.
G'day and welcome to Coonung Reserve Bulleen. My name's George and I'm here with Troy, the coach of the Q Comets, who sadly were not victorious today in the Q Derby, a grand final replay from the preceding year. In spite of the scoreline, it was a great game of footy. Rovers eventually got up by a margin of about 8 or 9 goals. What are your thoughts from the game today, Troy?
Yeah, I thought we started a little bit slow. I thought we were a little bit starstruck. And I think they took control very early. Did a lot of chasing very early on. And then into the second and third quarters, we got a bit composed. We played a lot more competitive footy. I think between the second and third quarters, very even. We matched them really, really well. And last quarter, they were too strong and too quick, ran out with it. Unlucky in the end.
Who do you think really stood up for you today in terms of your playing group?
There's a couple of really good players. Nick Guiney through the middle, then through halfback was really, really solid. Louis Lunn up forward with Ned Nichols. Really good, explosive. I think our small forwards troubled them a little bit. And Anthony Lugudice across halfback was best for 4 quarters. Put in a really good 4-quarter effort.
Wonderful. I'm not sure if you could see from over on your side, but Louis Lung had a great passage of play out here where he fended off about 3 blokes who were twice his size. Did you say anything to Louis following that?
No. It was he did really well. He did another one down in our pocket as well. He's very elusive, and we encourage him to take the game on. He's really quick. He's got very good evasive skills, and we like it when he's got the ball.
All the best. He looks like he's really coming along. And you mentioned small forward Ned, who took a huge mark on the 50 and booted 3 or 4 goals for the day.
Yeah, it did. And again, it was hard. It was hard for our forwards today, but I thought he battled really well. We looked a lot better when we moved the ball in quickly and got the ball to ground, and we used our leg speed, and we worked really well on that. Got a lot of things that we need to work on though, but we'll take the positives with the negatives as well.
Wonderful. Our final question is what's the plan from here? Who have you got next week, and what sort of changes we'll be looking for the boys to make for the next game?
Don't know who we've got next week. I'm sure I'll find out very, very soon.
No worries.
But no, lot to work on. Look, we've got the basics, and only been in charge for a couple of weeks. A lot of things that the boys need to work on. It's a big step up. And as they get up more and more, they really need to improve all 4 quarters and bring a consistent effort all the way through.
Wonderful, Troy. Thanks for your time. We'll now cross over to Paddy Burton with the coach of the Q Rovers.
Patrick Burton reporting from Coonung Reserve in Bulleen, where the Q Rovers have been victorious today. I'm here with the victorious coach, Peter. Initial thoughts on the game, Peter? It was a dominant display by your boys.
Yeah, it was a fantastic start to the season. We got a couple of new players in, and for whatever reasons, we haven't been able to train together as much as probably what we should have in the first game. So it's always a bit of an unknown. So I thought the new players just gelled fantastically. They gave us the opportunity to sort of rest some of our main players that we sort of had from last year. So it just worked really, really well. Really well.
Yeah, one of those new players you mentioned, I think, is Kennedy up forward, and he kicked 7 goals straight today, which was a really good return. So, yeah, it must be really handy having him up forward and bombing it long into him and seeing what he can do.
Yeah, just a beautiful kick, beautiful mark, and just a really strong target, and that's exactly what we sort of needed. We were quite a small side last year, relatively, against some of the other teams, so it just injected a bit of height and just gave us, someone to sort of aim for. Where before we were sort of kicking it around a lot and just using smaller players like Dacos, Nick, and some of the other players, Finlay and whatever, to get our goals. But now, just gave us a great target on a relatively big ground. It was great.
Yeah, you mentioned Dacos and McRae. They really dominated out of the middle as well with Hop and and they got pushed forward and kicked a few as well, but it was a really well-rounded effort.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and that's what you want. You want the team to be able to sort of walk around the stoppages and in the centre and stuff. And we're still lacking a bit, I think, in a bit of the talking. We need to sort of lift that up to another level. But like I said, it was a great start, and really impressed with the boys.
Yeah, and I thought for a team that you say hasn't gelled so well, I think right across the board you were really good, right from defence, mopping up across half-back and right down to the forward line.
Yeah, it was just that unknown. You sort of go into the first round, you think, how are they going to fit in? The guys, but like I said, you just couldn't fault anything of it. So it was a great start, really accurate kicking. Just the endeavour on the ball, and we talked about the pressure on the player, and before the match, and every guy on the field absolutely applied that. There's heaps of pressure whoever had the ball, pressure on them, and they just bobbed the ball up and gave us the opportunity to move it. So
you talked about tackles being a focus before the game. Were you pleased with how that went? And there's a few big tackles in the middle that really sent a message.
And from smaller guys too. You don't underestimate that. There's big difference, I think, now in the under 15, some of the biggest players, I think, but the smaller players go in just as hard as the bigger players, so it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I guess the 9-goal win in round one's exactly what you're after. What's in store for the future weeks?
Yeah, look, there's a few unknowns. A couple of the other teams, Fitzroy, they might have got a few players from some of the other leagues and stuff, so again, it's a bit of an unknown until you actually play them, but Q Comets are traditional sort of rivals. So, fantastic to beat them by 9 goals first game. We're in heaven. Yeah. But it's a long season, and, a lot of the kids play on the Saturday, so it's about, getting their recovery on the Saturday to play on the Sunday. So the first round sometimes isn't a great indication of how it's all going.
Yeah, perfect. That's wrapping up here from Koonung Reserve in Bulleen, where once again the Q Rovers have gotten up by about 9 goals.
This has been another Complete Sports Management production.